For years, gardeners have argued over which amendment really makes soil better. Some swear by cardboard because it feeds worms and smothers weeds. Others back biochar, calling it the ultimate way to lock fertility into the ground for decades. I always thought one would clearly outperform the other, but when I put them to the test, the results turned out to be very different from what I expected, and they revealed an easier way forward for anyone who wants rich, healthy soil without endless compost piles. Cardboard feeds soil life while keeping work to a minimum. Cardboard may look like trash, but it's one of the simplest ways to kickstart soil revival. Laid down in thick sheets or shredded into pieces, it acts like a blanket over tired ground. It blocks weeds, holds moisture, and then slowly breaks down into humus. Unlike compost piles that need turning and balancing, cardboard works right where you put it. Worms moving quickly, chewing through these softened fibers, and the fungal network spread across it as soon as it stays moist. A lazy but highly effective method is to cover a bed with 5 centimeters of shredded cardboard and then scatter grass clippings or a thin layer of compost on top. This prevents the cardboard from drying out and creates the perfect conditions for worms to drag it down. By the end of one growing season, the soil under that cardboard will already be looser, darker, and much easier to plant in. No turning, no hauling piles across the yard, just steady breakdown that does the work for you. Biochar brings permanence, but needs the right preparation. Biochar is different. Instead of feeding soil life directly, it gives them a permanent home. It is made by burning organic matter at high heat with little oxygen, which locks carbon in place. Because of this, it doesn't rot down like cardboard. Instead, it adds a structure full of tiny pores that hold water and nutrients while giving microbes a stable shelter. The result is soil that doesn't dry out as quickly, and plants that can access nutrients for longer stretches. Now, the key thing to remember is that raw biochar cannot simply be dumped into soil. If you do, it can actually tie up nutrients and leave your plants hungry, which is definitely not what we want. It has to be charged first. The easiest way, really, is soaking it for, say, 3 to 5 days in a bucket filled with compost tea, diluted manure water, or even a grass clipping slurry. Once it's alive with microbes and nutrients, just mix it into the topsoil at a ratio of 1 part biochar to 10 parts soil. That small amount is enough to keep benefiting your soil for years, honestly, without any further effort. When used in practice, cardboard gives faster results in the first season. Plants respond to the weed suppression, the moisture retention, and the burst of life from worms breaking it down. By mid-season, crops look healthier and the soil already feels richer. Biochar, on the other hand, does not give that same quick flush of fertility. The first few weeks can be slower, but by the end of the season, the difference shows up in soil structure. Roots spread more evenly, water stays available longer after irrigation, and plants produce steadily rather than in bursts. The surprising part was realizing that neither is better on its own. They work in completely different ways. Cardboard is like a meal for the soil. It feeds it and disappears. Biochar is more like building the soil's skeleton. It doesn't feed, but it shapes the environment permanently. For those who want the simplest method with the quickest payoff, cardboard is the go-to. Just spread it right where you plan to grow, cover it with clippings, and honestly, just leave it alone. By planting through small openings or letting it decay in place, you get results without lifting a shovel. Now, for those thinking about the next 5 or 10 years, a little biochar goes a long way. Preparing it once and mixing it into your soil means you won't need to repeat the job again. The most effective method, really, combines the two. Start with a thin layer of charged biochar mixed into the soil, then cover the top with shredded cardboard and mulch. The cardboard feeds the worms today, while the biochar makes sure the improvements last. Over time, the soil turns black and fertile without the constant cycle of building, turning and moving compost piles. The test between cardboard and biochar didn't prove that one was the winner. Instead, it showed that soil doesn't need a complicated system of piles to improve. It only needs simple, steady inputs in place. Cardboard gives the immediate humus boost, while biochar locks in long-term fertility. Together, they provide a path for gardeners, especially those who are tired of heavy lifting, to revive soil without exhausting themselves. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more ways to build soil the lazy but effective way, subscribe to Soil Doctor and share this guide with other gardeners. The answers are often simpler than we think, and your soil will thank you for it.